Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm in a Nissan Z31 300ZX. Never driven one of these before. Only catch is that it has the wrong motor in it. This 1989 Z31 300ZX has an LS1 from a WS6 TransAm. It's basically a built LS1. It has valve train work, Texas speed cams, and all the goodies that make an NALS really great. But the real big thing about this is that after 10 years of driving cool cars, this is the first nitrous car I've ever driven. This does have the nitrous on, and I can purge it at any moment. Nitrous! I have to say, this car feels good. It feels solid. AJ, who owns the car, actually bought the car like this from the previous owner. He wanted to be transparent about it. But this is like the first time I've driven somebody's car where they bought a completed project car and it's basically perfect. He said the last owner was incredibly meticulous. And think about it, the nitrous purge right here is with the factory dash buttons. So this is actually my first time in the Z31. And it kind of gives me vibes from a bunch of different 80s cars, right? The door cards feel a little bit like a Mark III Supra. The dashboard kind of gives me Mitsubishi Starion vibes in a way. And also just generic materials from Nissan, you know, over the years. At the same time, 80s cars just had square everything. And the 300ZX Z31 is a perfect example of that. But this one, obviously, is a little out of the normal. And we also got T-tops. We got T-tops to rock that freaking pour some sugar on me, blasting in the radio as you drive down the street. We also have a massive hood scoop letting out all that hot air. You have a nitrous kit, easily visible. It is not a secret whatsoever. Hell yeah, dude! Dude, this thing from a second gear, not a first gear. I think at first it would actually hook. Holy smokes, these tires are doing work. But the seating position with these Corbos is very good. These harnesses from RaceQuip are really great. They're the hook system, so you just loop them through a hook and they're very easy to take off. It has a really nice perforated leather grip royal steering wheel and a Holley EFI dash, which really cleans up the car in general because it's rectangular and everything is rectangular in this thing anyway, so it really fits. I really love the LED brick headlights as well. It really cleans these cars up and it brings old school into modern, which is really great. Along with that, you make it almost 500 horsepower to the wheels. But it also handles very nice because you have these big, fat, chunky tires. We have some fender flares that don't look very cheap. They look like they're in place. And this car in white just looks fantastic. A lot of the times when you see the Z31, they're kind of that faded red, faded orange, you know, where the clear coat didn't last anymore. The SSR wheels really fit this car with the kind of bronze gold vibe they give off. Now, another thing is, of course, the nitrous bottle. The nitrous bottle sits right behind you, and in your rear view mirror at a certain position, you just kind of peek up a little bit and you go, oh yeah, the sauce is in the back. And what's great about this nitrous setup is that it's progressive. I don't really have to hit any buttons. I don't really have to do anything like that on the go. If you want to be Brian O'Connor in Fast and Furious, it's not really it. This actually just comes in progressively over time. Okay. Dude, this thing rips! All motor LS in a car like this and it's not spinning? Crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy. 3, 2, 1. Car I've driven, because when you drive an LS swap car, there's a certain expectation, and when you drive a lot of them, it kind kind of meets your expectation, right? It's like, yeah, that's about what I expected. This, no, it feels so a part of the car, and it feels like it was meant to be there. Usually you're like holding on for dear life, right? You're like, oh my God, this is not right, this isn't right. But since this is a true LS1 and not like a 5.3 from something 2, it sounds better. It sounds like a sports car, and it feels really good. So the shifter sits kind of close to the radio, but once you get the hang of where the shift pattern goes or where the H pattern goes, it's effortless, man. And the whole car squats and hooks up and goes. You Dominic Toretto when you get on it, and you feel the nitrous. Yeah, buddy! Woo! It's also got a trim it gearbox from the Camaro, which yes, the WS6 TransAm and the F-body Camaro were essentially the same car, but they look different. So it makes sense. Went in here just fine. And the shifter is extremely notchy. Bradenton Performance Supply helped out with this car, really cleaned it up before this shoot, so shout out to them for getting this car done. For me spontaneously coming down to Florida to drive some cool cars. This is one hell of a Florida cruiser. Let me tell you what. And AJ told me that this was his dream car, right? A nice Z31 300ZX. For some reason, this was his dream car. And he was like, I have to find a clean one. I don't know how I'm going to. And just like many things in life, when you're looking for something, it was when he stopped looking, he found this one. It was basically when he was window shopping, which is so funny to me. It's also on coilovers as well. Car drives really nice. You can tell that every nook and cranny of this thing has been restored. It feels like $1 million. Oh, that downshift. Dude, the nitrous kicks in. You physically feel it. You feel it come on out of nowhere. At first you're like, yeah, LS swap. LS swap! Like it smacks you in the face. See, I've never experienced nitrous from the driver's seat, and you really don't notice it unless you're driving it, right? You're like, oh, fast car, fast car. But when you are in the gas and laying onto it, you're like, oh, there it is. There it is. It's like VTEC. It's like VTEC for the LS almost. Just row. This thing is such a treat. It feels so good. It's so refreshing that this isn't some like drift car. Oh my God, this isn't some drift car either, right? That's clapped out. This is well taken care of, and it feels like $1 million, man. Yeah, this car rips, like not by a little. It's ridiculous. I don't want to give this car up. I'm really enjoying myself, but whenever you say one more time, that's when you get in trouble. This car is what most LS swaps I want to be, right? It feels justified. The motor in this, to me, I know I might get some hate for this. I'm not a fan of the engine, really, that comes in this car. But yeah, what a good choice. LS Z31, what do you guys think of it? This is my favorite LS swap car I've driven so far, especially naturally aspirated. I know a lot of people will find this blasphemous, but I had an amazing time. Huge thanks to AJ for very last minute emailing me and letting me drive his beauty of a car. He got this car 2 weeks ago, so shout out to AJ. Everybody give AJ love. And on that note, I upload on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, and I will see you guys next time. And take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.